Hi everyone, good afternoon. So let me open PPT. Okay, go to slideshow beginning. Okay, so like earlier we discussed about some of the topics like real-time scenario interview questions like relationships and configuration and sandboxes production elements, right? So now we'll go with some other topics like users profiles and permission sets. What they ask, like, so interview perspective, like what they will ask in recruiters, what they will ask in profiles, users, roles, and permission sets. Okay. So first of all, users profiles and permission sets, right? So why we are using these things? Profiles and permission sets provide the security for metadata, structure of the component, right? So profiles and permission sets provides security for metadata, right? For structure of the components. So what are the real-time scenarios they will ask? We'll go with question. Yeah. So is it possible to delete the user in Salesforce? No, right? So no. Once we create an user in Salesforce, we cannot delete the user record. So we can only deactivate the user record, right? So is it possible to delete the user in Salesforce? No, we cannot delete. So why? Because in Salesforce doesn't allow to delete the user. Just we need to deactivate the user. So we have in user level, we have checkbox option will be there. So once we disable the checkbox, the user should be inactivate, right? So we can't delete the user in Salesforce, just we have to deactivate the user, that's it. So how to provide security for metadata files, right? Like how are we are going to provide the securities? By using profiles and permission sets, right? By using profiles and permission sets, so we are going to give the securities for this metadata, right? Okay, so go to next question. What is profile? What is profile? So in generally they will ask like what is profile, what is user, right? So in profile means like profile deals with the cred. So you can say like create, read, edit and delete. So short term we are calling as a CRED, cred. Okay, so create, delete and edit and delete permissions over the apps, tabs, objects, fields, record types, and etc. What are the components available in Salesforce? So like objects, tabs, fields, record types, etc. So we are giving permissions to through profile, right? So we can map only on profile in the one user, right? So without profile, we can't create a user simply. So profile is nothing but it deals with create, like create, edit, delete and permissions through all the apps, objects, fields and record types. And one coming to one more point, like without profile we can't create the user. Without profile we can't create the user. And one profile we have multiple users. Okay, one profile we have multiple users, but one user we have only one profile. One user we have only one profile, but one profile we have multiple users, right? Okay, so what is permission sets? What is permission sets? So let's say I will tell you one simple example. Then when we are going to use for permission sets, when we are using permission, what is permission set and when we are using permission sets? So permission sets means to improve the permissions for the users over the profiles. We should go for permission set. So whatever we have permissions there in profile level, apart from that, we'll go with some extra permissions. Then we go with permission sets. Let's say, just assume profile A we have. Let's say we have a profile A. Okay, so we have XYZ users will be there. So XYZ users, and we have only one profile called A. That profile assigned to XYZ people. Okay, 3 people XYZ. But I want to give extra permissions. Why? Because profile level if we give profile level access, it should be applicable for 3 users XYZ, right? But I want to give extra access for only X and Z, not for Y. So that scenario, then we can go with permission sets. By using, we can create one permission set and we can assign whatever the permissions we required, and we need to create those permission set and we need to assign specific users to that permission sets. Okay, means permission set means single word, like we can give extra permissions to the other users, that's it. How to give permissions to two fields for different users? who belongs to different profiles. See, so this is the scenario, like they will ask this kind of question, like how to give permissions to two fields, how to give permissions to two fields for different users who belongs to different profiles. How we are going to give the permissions for two fields? By using permission sets. Answer should be permission sets. How many users are there in your project Salesforce instance? This should be a like real-time scenario question, like they will ask in your current project details, and they will ask this kind of questions. How many users are there in your project Salesforce instance? It's completely depends on, it completely depends on uh, project and depends on team, right? So let's say you can say 10,000 members, you can say 10 members, you can say 20 members, depends on project. Like let's say in my current organization, my current project should be like 42 members. Then I can say like in my project we have only 42 users. Maybe it depends on my project, right? So this also should be like you can say 1,000 or 50 or 20, 200 something, 1,000. It will be depends on the number of licenses taken by the client. Okay, so number of licenses taken by the client, it will be like up to 4,000, like that. We should be based on the client. Okay, so based on the client, how many users required, they will purchase those kind of licenses. It's completely depends on the project and depends on the client. Okay, so how to provide securities for the records instance, right? So how to provide securities for the records? So we have some different ways are there. How we are going to providing the securities for the records, like by using roles, by using OWD, organization by default. What is OWD? So it will come next question. Okay, by using roles, by using OWD, organization by defaults, sharing rules, manual sharing, apex sharing, view all, modify all, view all data, modify all data. So these are the things we can give security for the records. So what is a role? What is a role? Like role deals with the organization authorization of access data. Let's say, so you are the CEO. So you are the, just take one example, you are the CEO. So you can able to see all your below level of data, right? Like CFO, CCO, manager, director, managing director, or like TL, employee, I mean senior employee. This kind of data you can see. Why? Because you are a CEO, right? But CEO data we can't see. Why? Because we don't have that much of authorization of level. By using role, we can define those kind of data, right? So you are a CEO, you can able to see all the employees data, but employee cannot see yours. Why? Because employee role should be different and CEO role should be different. So that's the role. Okay. And what is OWD? OWD is nothing but a organization wide defaults. Organization wide defaults. It should be completely, why we are using OWD means like completely we can go with the records settings, records security. Like you can say if you want to see the records, then we can go with the OWD. If you want to hide the records, we can go with the OWD. If you want to give the access for read only, then you can go with the OWD. So in OWD, like we have different levels, like private, public read only, public read and write. So these are the main three keywords for an OWD. See, let's say I will tell you. So we have two users, user A and user B. Okay. So when OWD is public read and write, when OWD is public read and write, so user A can see user B records, and user B can see user A records, and he can edit the records and he can delete the records, either A or B. User A can do everything and user B can do everything. Why? Because OWD is public read and write. OWD is a public read only. So then what will happen? So OWD is a public read only means user A records, user B can see, and at the same time user B records, user A can see, but he can't edit. A can't edit and B also he can't edit until unless when we are setting up the OWD public read only, right? Public read only means we can providing the visibility access, not editing, just read only purpose we are giving the read only access. Private means, So it's completely private. Like user A, he can't see user B records, and user B, he can't see user A records. User A can see only his records, user B can see only his records, not for other records. So that's a different. Private means everybody don't see any other user records. That's a private. Public read only means everybody can see everyone records, but he can't edit. It's read only purpose. And public read and write, everybody can see everyone records and everybody edit their records and other records also. So this is the public read only, public read and write, and private. So this is the OWD. Okay. So next, what is grant access using hierarchies? What is grant access using hierarchies? So there are three roles: role A, B, and C. Role is a higher hierarchy. Already I told, right? Different levels. So role is a higher hierarchy. Role B is a in middle, and role C is a lower hierarchy. If the role A, user through manual sharing or sharing rules, shares the record to role C. So instead of B, we are sharing role C. Okay, who is the lower hierarchy? C is the lower hierarchy. Then role B, user who can above hierarchy to role C can see the records, right? User B, role B can see the role C records if we enable, right? If we enable grant access using hierarchy at sharing settings, else role B user cannot see the record. So because of we are enabling the grant access hierarchy, means user B can't see the user C records by using, once we enable the grant C, why we are enabling, once we are enabling the grant access hierarchy, user B can't see the user C records. So this is the use of grant C access, grant access using hierarchies. So these are the real-time scenario questions for the profile, permission sets, and roles. So they will ask this kind of questions for real-time scenario basis. Okay, so next video, like, we'll go with like data loader and data import wizard, how they are performing, like how recruiters will ask scenario based questions. We'll discuss those things. Okay, thanks for watching.